Hello, Oracles! When is Tesla stock going to the moon? Well, lately we've been hearing a lot of FUD, we've had a lot of red in the market, a lot of red in the stock, so there's a lot of just kind of angst and anxiety going around, so I decided today, let's talk about the positives that we love about the stock and what we can see going forward. So in order to answer this question, we need to ask 3 more questions. First is, what is the moon? What do you define as the moon when it comes to the stock price? Next is, what is the difference between a trader and an investor? Because that is going to determine what your timeline means are. And then of course the third question is, when, based upon your answers of the other 2 questions, are we going to reach that point? Now before we jump into this, I wanted to mention a couple of mistakes that I had made yesterday. Yesterday we had a red day and I wore a green shirt. Shame on me. It was a long day at work. So I apologize for that. And then Damian had pointed out that I had bad math yesterday. So I was discussing how, a 10x over the next 10 years for your shares was going to equal $2,400. It's actually $24,000. I forgot a very important zero. So thank you, Damian, for pointing that out. Next, I would like to welcome Steve Gagliano to our membership program here on Oracle Investments. Thank you so much, Steve, for joining the channel. If you guys are interested in becoming a member as well, there's lots of perks down there. I share lots of spreadsheets and information with price targets, production and delivery forecasts to my valuation model that you guys can see in the pinned comment below, and I'll discuss a lot more of that on the live stream tonight. All right, so now let's jump into it. So first question, what is the moon? What do you define as the moon when it comes to a stock price? For me, I don't really have a strict definition of it. For those of you who are a member, you can see on my price targets where I break down how many shares you would need based upon my price targets to hit Teslanaire and then $1.5 million. I went with the $1.5 million mark because right now, based upon the information that we have, that's roughly a good number that people could retire on. It's different for everyone. That's just a number I chose to go with. So for me, those are the numbers that I look at when it comes to the share price. So if I have that number of shares, that's the moon that I would need to hit those levels. So that's what I go by. So for me, looking at the price targets that I have over the next decade, and I will be updating those significantly once we get Q3 earnings. And so that is what the moon is defined for me, is that Teslanaire state or that $1.5 million state. Next question is, what is the difference between a trader and an investor? A trader is someone who is playing the stock market up and down on a short-term basis within, a short term like a day or up to a year. Very near term, somebody who's not going to hold a stock for a long time. Trading accounts consider anything held over 1 year as a long-term investment. So anything within that time frame is considered trading. So if you are a trader, the moon is going to be a different category for you because you may be thinking, hey, I want the stock to jump up $30. That's the moon for you. So there's a big difference there. An investor is somebody who's holding long term. Many of us on here are holding for a minimum of 5 years. I'll be holding for a minimum of 10 years. So that is investing. So that time frame alone is what is going to determine what the time frame is for you to hit the moon. So when is this going to happen? So for me, based upon the numbers that I see, based upon all the information that I go over with you guys, and again, I use 4 different categories. One is the fundamentals of the company. The second is the news and the sentiment around the company. Third is the macro environment. And then fourth is going to be the charts. Charts, to be honest, are really more for that trading piece. I do not use the charts for an investment standpoint because Stephen Mark Ryan says it himself. Charts really are like the astrology of the stock market. When it comes to long-term investing, that's true. You can pick and choose and stars can align here and there. When it comes to trading, you guys have seen, we have followed the charts, and those charts are pretty darn accurate when you follow patterns. The reason that the charts work is because people follow the charts. The more people that follow the charts, the more the charts are going to be accurate. And fortunately for us, a lot of people follow the charts, so they can tend to give us good signals along the way. But as Stephen Mark Ryan said, long-term, it really truly doesn't matter, and I totally agree with that. Long-term investors do not need to follow the charts. The reason I follow the charts is because as a smaller investor, I want to find good opportunities to buy more for less because I have very limited money coming in to be able to invest. So with all of that out of the way, my thoughts based upon the information that we have with the macro environment, what the Fed has told us because the macro is extremely heavy at the moment, based upon Tesla's fundamentals and the plans and news that they have told us for the future, I see the start of this moon run coming in 2024 and then really taking off in 2025. I am saying this because most likely the macro environment is going to hold us down for probably the next year. Based upon the information the Fed has given us so far, we are most likely going to be seeing a U-turn at the end of 2023 or 2024. That has always signaled the start of a bull market. So when that happens, that's going to be the start of the run when we come out of this. The fundamentals of the company at that point will be significantly stronger. We will have the Cybertruck out. We will have the Robotaxi coming out. We will have FSD most likely be solved. We will have a lot more information about Optimus at this time. Energy will be taking off significantly. 4680 batteries are going to be ramped. So many awesome things coming for Tesla over the next 2 years that the timing of that, along with the macro environment lifting, is going to start setting our sails to head up to the moon. And so then based upon all of that information, I do believe that shortly after all of this, we will be getting our next split. I personally think it is going to be a 4-to-1 split, and I think we're going to probably hit that sometime around that $1,000 mark again, and it'll probably be same timing as last time in August. So we'll see when that comes around, but that is what my take is as of this moment. So let me know down in the comments below, what do you guys define as the moon? And for me, again, that $1 million Teslanaire state and the $1.5 million is really truly all based upon how many shares you have at the time that we hit those price targets. So that differs for everyone. So for me, the moon, hitting the moon to become a Teslanaire currently is 2027. So that is my moon that I plan on hitting. Let me know in the comments below when it would be happening for you guys, what you define as the moon, and whether you guys are a trader or an investor, or maybe you're both. And you can definitely do both. Some people do that. I kind of do that in my IRA. I swing a little bit here and there. And then on my main portfolio, it's just an add, DCA, and hold long-term. And speaking of long-term investors, Leo Koguan, who has said himself he believes he is the third largest private investor in Tesla, just added another 175,000 shares to the stock. So that could explain why we had this nice bounce at a lower level. So he added, I think it was at $238. I apologize if I am wrong, but he now holds a full 23 million shares of the stock. That is long-term holding. That is long-term conviction right there. So Leo, if you're watching this and you want to toss a couple shares our way, maybe give like 5 or 10 to each one of us, that would be awesome. But either way, this shows the conviction that many people have when it comes to the stock long-term. So some other news that we had gotten from Troy Teslake over on Twitter, he was discussing about how the backlog for Tesla is now down to 78 days. So this backlog coming down is throwing up a lot of red flags for many people discussing demand, but you have to remember Tesla's goal is actually to get their backlog down to 42 days. They would like to have it down to 6 weeks. That is a good, healthy place for the company to be at when it comes to, getting vehicles out to customers in a timely manner, to not let them get discouraged. And it's easier for them to keep track of everything going forward as well, because, there's a lot less cancellations that come in, a lot less headaches. It's a lot more efficient to keep the backlog slower. So he also took some time out because he realized that it takes 1 week for Tesla to deliver a vehicle. So he backed out 7 days immediately just because of that reason. And a lot of this is coming from over in China. China is pumping out so fast over there. That's where the backlog came down a little bit. So 78 days, still not a concern. As Lee at Tesla Economist had mentioned, just because they don't have the demand in China to be able to deliver right there doesn't mean they don't have the demand. It's now just getting exported to other areas. There's so many other areas around the world that Tesla is exporting to, and there's so many places that they are growing significantly. So yes, China is the largest market over there. They are still growing in China, but it's not like Tesla is going to be sitting on vehicles not getting delivered. They're just going to go elsewhere. That's really all this means. Mark was sharing over on Twitter that the backlog for the Model Y Performance in Australia is 26 to 34 weeks, and Lee was sharing that he was probably the first one to order a Model Y Performance over in New Zealand, and he still has yet to receive it. So there is a massive backlog in other areas of the world. These vehicles are definitely going somewhere. So we're just going to track this and monitor it going forward. But again, Tesla is still significantly above their backlog goal of 42 days. So we'll see how this goes. And don't forget, Tesla has massive pricing power. So if we get to a point where Tesla's like, hey, you know what? We actually want to have our backlog go up, they could just bring the prices down of their vehicles. They still have massive margins. We're still looking at an EV tax credit coming over here in the US in 2023. That's going to give them an even bigger buffer to be able to drop prices if they need to, just to be able to bring it back up. There's been the discussions over in China about bringing the prices down as well. That's part of the reason why some of this demand got pushed off, because people in China are just waiting for the prices to come down because they take that seriously. So again, this is just something that Tesla plays with. So it's not that there isn't demand, it's just that the demand timing isn't right now. Every vehicle that they produce is going to be sold, and that's all that matters, and that's why I follow production more closely than I follow deliveries. So the next piece of news that we got was over in Berlin, and Berlin is now celebrating 7,000 employees that they have over there. This is up from 3,000 employees back in May. So they have more than doubled their staff over in Berlin, and they do aim to get to 12,000 employees over there as they are shooting for a 500,000 vehicle run rate. So we know that they have not added a third shift yet. Originally, they were slating to have this up and running for the third shift in October. Last we had heard that it's getting pushed off until December, but we also know that they've been ramping up the 4680 batteries, which were supposed to be coming in October, but actually started coming in August. So lots of things going on over in Berlin. Hopefully we get a lot more questions answered on the Q3 earnings call, because we've had a lot of this information, but haven't really got a lot of new stuff lately just because there's been so much FUD and just distraction and noise that's out there. So trying to sift through a lot of this is very difficult, but I wanted to share with you guys some of the very good positive fundamental news that is coming out of Tesla. And with those 7,000 employees over in Berlin, that actually makes them the largest privately owned employer over in Brandenburgs state. So again, Tesla and all of these positives, when we hear all the FUD and things that are going on, Tesla is providing awesome jobs for so many people. Those 7,000 employees are coming from 50 different countries over there. So this is just outstanding. Tesla is employing the world, and they are continuing to grow even larger. So, this is just a world-changing event that is going on when it comes to Tesla. And again, as a long-term investor, all of this stuff that's going on right now, in my eyes, is just noise. We've talked about it many times in the past. We hear a lot of this FUD. The stock price comes down. You know what? I'm a buyer. When the stock price is getting pushed down because of FUD, I'm going to buy. This is why I call it fudge. Fudge is when there is fear, uncertainty, and doubt, grab extra. I've been saying it all year. This is just what I look at. And you know what? I think when we look back 3-5 years from now, we're going to be looking at these times wishing we had even more money to buy more. I know we've had conversations in the comments, and many of you guys have already said that now, wishing you had more money to buy now. We'll have our time. Maybe we're going to have, because the macro environment is going to be so suppressed, maybe we're going to have some extra time to be able to buy more. That's fine. Again, I said it yesterday, near-term pain is going to lead to long-term gains. So again, let me know in the comments below, what do you guys see happening to the stock over the next 3 to 5 years? What other fundamental pieces of news that you see that are positive for the company coming out? What are the things that are out there? Maybe I have missed some, so please share them in the comments below. And I also wanted to truly thank you guys. You guys are really all the best. Your support is absolutely amazing to me, so thank you all for that. And so tonight we're going to be doing a chart chat, 6 p.m. Eastern time. We will be having a live stream. I'll go over all the charts with you guys, all the different things that I have seen, sharing some of that knowledge and wisdom with you, and then you guys can have a discussion with me and share things with me, because every time we have a live stream, you guys teach me something new also, and you guys are also hilarious in the live stream, so thank you. And then tomorrow night, I will be having Vinny on as well, and then I'll let you guys know about this weekend with a big live stream on my Tesla weekend. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and feedback. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. If you found value in this video, please consider sharing it with others. We do have a Discord chat. That link is down in the description. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I share all the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock market information, and all of my daily trades. And if you'd like to support the channel any further, we do have a Patreon. That link is also in the description. Thank you so much. Have a great one.